RTO again, back for the final show of the week. It's the one-off hit Wonder album, and today it's part of the Paul Rodgers story, and we're now up to part 4. This is a band called The Law. He formed it with Kenny Jones when they were in a nightclub having a bevy, and they decided to put a band together. The two decided that they'd have different supporting musicians that allowed Paul to have the freedom to pursue whatever music style he felt like. So it was a bit of a breath of fresh air for Paul. He had people writing songs like Phil Collen from Def Leppard, Chris Rea's on here, Bryan Adams, David Gilmour makes an appearance. So they put this album together called The Law, by The Law, and they released it on March the 19th, 1991. And it had Paul Rodgers lead vocals, guitar and piano, Kenny Jones of course on the drums, Jim Barber was the lead guitar, and the other musicians that came in and helped out, we had John Staley who played guitar, Pino Palladino bass, guest appearances by David Gilmour and Chris Rea, Bryan Adams plays on here as well, Mike here on guitars, John Astley, Steve Piggott keyboards, someone called Albany Galton played the synthesizer, George Hawkins was another bass player they used, Tom Paul another drummer, Joe Lala percussion, and the Memphis Horns. So, and it's a pretty good album. I love it. Played quite a lot, and I really enjoy this album. It's got some great tracks on it. So let's have a look at these tracks. The first track on the album is called For a Little Ride. This is a really upbeat song, got great vocals from Paul, some great guitar work on here. I'm not quite sure who plays on this track, but it's pretty awesome track. Fantastic stuff, good start to the album. Then we get Miss You in a Heartbeat. Now for all those Def Leppard fans, yes, this is the song that Phil Collen wrote. It was actually penned for this album, but when they released Retroactive in 1993, they put it on that album. It's a good song, but this version is the best version, without a doubt. It's a really good song. We all know this song, but if you've never heard Paul Collins' version, you will, because I put the whole album in the playlist for you to have a listen to. Third song on the album is called Stone Cold. This has got a huge riff in this. It's absolutely stunning. Great drumming from Kenny Jones. Good drummer, good solid drummer. Got a great guitar solo in this. Moves along nicely. Paul's singing is just freedom. He's singing with you can tell he's enjoying it in his voice. I think this album was a breath of fresh air to him. He really enjoyed himself on this. Next track, Come and Save Me. It's not the strongest song on the album, but it doesn't make it a bad one. I just particularly not very keen on it. Then we get a track called Laying Down the Law. Great track this is. This is very bad company, I think. Very bad company. Solid drumming from Kenny. One of my favourite songs off the album this is. It is a great track. Then we get Nature of the Beast, written by Bryan Adams, and you can tell it's a Bryan Adams style track. Bryan Adams is a fine musician and writer. Yes, we are covering him here. So if anyone asks, it is in the pipeline, like lots of things in the pipeline. But this is a classic version of a great song written by Bryan Adams. Okay, then we get Stone. This is the album that features David Gilmour and Chris Rea on guitars. Chris Rea wrote the song. Got a very good feel of Chris Rea's solo stuff. Pretty good performance. Great guitar work from both these guys. Truly great guitarists, the pair of them. Anything for you. Quite funky this is. Got a great bass line. It just shows how Paul can adapt to any style of singing. He's one of the best singers this country has ever produced. Whatever he sings on, it sounds good. Even tracks, like say, like Come Save Me, not the best track on, but his vocal performance is always spot on. Best My Love, another solid track, great rock track this is. Again, great vocals from Paul. Really solid rock track. Tough Love. Great guitar solos on this, and this is probably Kenny Jones's best drum performance on the album. Very, very solid. Missing Bad Girl. It's okay. And again, Paul Rodgers sings fantastic on it. Okay. This album is very underrated. Please listen to it. Give it some love, because if you've never heard this album, you'll be surprised. If you like Free, if you like Bad Company, you're going to like this. It's simple as. I should have done more albums than this one, because it is solid. And on the whole, I love it and play it a lot. So I'm going to give it an RTO ranking of 9 out of 10. It is a stonking album. Got a couple of tracks that are a little bit not my cup of tea, hence why it doesn't get the 10 this time. But on the whole, fantastic album. Listen to it in the playlist, and it is on Spotify if you just want to go. If you're going to take the gamble and just download it into your playlists. But I do recommend it. It's one of them little gems. Okay folks, that's all for this week. Got a busy week ahead, of course, next week. It's a little bit more mixed up next week. We've got lots of different genres in there. We are literally going from ABBA to Magnum, to Led Zeppelin covers, Queen. So on Monday we have got a really obscure band called Living Colour. Living Colour were from New York. They're what I would call a reggae rock band, and I have seen them. And over the weekend, I'm going to find out who they supported. I know what album it was for touring. It was the touring their debut album, which is a great album. And I'll find out who they was thing. So when I do the show on Monday, I'll tell you who I saw them supporting. And they blew my socks away, that's all I'll say. And I've been a fan since. Okay, have a great weekend everybody. Enjoy what you're doing. And I will see you all Monday. Bye for now.